Yeah, so Predator. Now, Predator, the original Predator.
Yes.
This isn't one of these films. It kind of falls in a funny place for me. It's not like, and I often use Flash Gordon I've used Flash Gordon as an example before. You know, like a childhood thing that you love, but critically you realise it is a bit naff.
Yes.
So Predator's not quite that. So I can't justify it as a great movie, but I do enjoy it, and it does fall into a little bit of that camp where I can't be too critical with it because I feel like I know it so well and I've seen it so many times.
Same sort of thing. I think I've mentioned this many, many times before. There was like a holy trinity of films out. I think it was Aliens, RoboCop and Predator all come out at the same time, and I just rented them all over and over and over again. So me and my son watched Prey the other day, and then I said to him, oh man, you're gonna have to watch Predator. So the following night I watched Predator. Do you know what really made me laugh? And I didn't even think about this. We started watching it, so of course it's all establishing shots of Arnie and his team getting out the helicopter, and you get all your... Straight away, I mean, these are the biggest, most manliest of men in the world, aren't they? And you know the scene where Arnie and Carl Weathers clasp hands and you've got the biceps bulging? My son looked at me and he went, that's the meme. And I was like, yes, it is. I was like, that's where that meme comes from. And I was like, God, young people know films now from memes.
Yeah, that's good. That's going that way, definitely.
I must admit, it was filmed better than I remember. The quality was... It's based on Disney Plus. I don't know if it's been upscaled or what, but the film quality was good. Rob, I'm going to say it straight out, just get it out there. It's that thing where you say to your kid, oh my God, it's the best film you're going to see in life, and actually it's not. It's good, I still really enjoy it, but I think there's a healthy dose of nostalgia, love in there as well.
I think it does what it's meant to do. I think it does its job really well. The thing that dates it really is just like you said, the manliness is so manly. The testosterone is just all over the screen. Yeah, that's a little bit silly. I think the bit when they go to that, there's a bit the shootout bit when they go to that camp,
jungle camp, yeah,
and that's a bit A-Team, isn't it? Where people are going and jumping around.
There must be a style of stuntman effect now which just don't do it, because every single time it's like get shot, explosion, and then it's obviously someone launched from a trampoline or something, flying over the camera into some water or something.
So that sort of stuff is what's dated. But because this is
87, isn't
it? John McTiernan, isn't it, that directed it?
Yeah.
So Hunt for Red October, which is a kind of cat and mouse structure to it, is good. I've not seen that film for a long time.
No,
Predator obviously is cat and mouse, and he also directed Die Hard, of course, which is cat and mouse. So this idea of someone being the cat and mouse structure, those three films, he's nailed that. He can do it really well, because that's what's good about Prey and is so good about Predator, is that being hunted by this unknown enemy, and the little bit of, these guys are super, super tough, but then you start seeing that little bit of fear in their eyes that, hang on, we're outmatched here, and we're used to being top dog, and we're not anymore.
I wonder if
it works.
I wonder if anywhere there is an edit or a cut that's been upscaled, because you first see through the Predator's eyes, like the heat vision. That's quite ropey now, and my son was like, that looks terrible. I was like, yeah. Have you ever downloaded one of these heat temperature apps? And it's not really that, it's just like a fake thing that you have on your phone which pretends that it's a heat temperature. There was that, and I do remember the first couple of times you see the Predator is cloaked, and it's got a kind of obviously in the modern films it's like a slightly mirrored effect in it. On this,
it's got like a shimmer. It's got a shimmer to it later on, hasn't it? Yeah.
In the 1987 one, it's kind of got a bit of a jiggity jaggedy outline with like almost not quite sparkly. The effect isn't great, and it dates it quite a lot. The first couple of, and then Rob, as you said last week, when you see the Predator, he gets hurt, doesn't he? And he's there with his rubber gloves, big Predator fingers.
Yeah, but saying that though, the practical effect of his mouth when the helmet comes off,
excellent,
and his beady little eyes, that still looks good, I think.
It's an excellent design. It really is excellent. And then, you've got the fight with Arnie. It is an Arnie vehicle again, isn't it? It's all about Arnie looking tough, Arnie looking hard. But then he does kind of get his ass kicked from time to time in this. And it was quite nice to see that sort of all-powerful total badass Arnie taking a few licks.
Yeah, he's getting cut. I like all the stuff when he's all in the mud at the end, and he's making practical traps and stuff like that. And he's having to try and take it down.
Rambo, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really good Arnie vehicle. I don't know if this was written with Arnie in mind or not, but it's very hard to imagine this working with, I don't know, someone else at the time.
Yeah,
it just wouldn't work with John Malkovich, would it?
It's all about massive muscles and sweating and shaving in the jungle.
And if it wasn't him, if it was Stallone, if this was in an alternate reality where Stallone made Predator instead,
maybe.
I think it would probably still work. But you do need this big tough guy, muscly guy that needs taking down a peg or two and realises he's outmatched, because I think that's what works in it.
It's good. Yeah, it's still got some of that. Who is the guy? He's like a Native American actor, isn't he? They do that thing where he's like sensing the predator. I don't know if that's culturally appropriate nowadays, but do you know what?
Yeah,
it's still really great. I might have been razzing on it a little bit. It's still really, really good. It's just a little dated, and some of the things you're seeing there, like the skinned skeletons early on, they look really good. And I don't know if it's just because they're practical effects, and the blood droplets underneath them sort of gets a good sense of suspense as you go. Yeah, I watched it. My son's 17, and he said, "Do you know what? I think I like Prey a bit more." And I said, "That's absolutely fine. I totally get that. I think maybe a younger viewer would appreciate the sort of modern filmmaking of Prey a bit more than the 80s style."
It's hard to say. I mean, ratings wise, how many bulging biceps out of 10 would I give this? But it probably is like a 7 out of 10, which is similar to what I gave Prey, really. So
yeah. Same for me, 7, 8, something like, because I can't.
It's not RoboCop, is it? It's not like RoboCop where we watched it and we just went, "Oh, I still love this," and it's like seeing an old friend that you just like, "Oh my God, it's good to see you again." It's not quite that, is it?
Something about the RoboCop vibe there that just still perfectly works, and we haven't quite got it with Predator here, have we?